Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar in which we want to explain a number of things related to the new applications that are upcoming for next academic year for the International Master in Marine Biological Resources, shortly IMBRSea. So my name is Tim Dupré. I'm the coordinator of this master program. I'm hosted at Ghent University. And together with a consortium of in total 11 universities, actually we organize this master program, which already dates back the origin of it since 2008. So it's quite it's one of the older joint international master programs. Today here in this webinar there is also Micheline de May, and she will briefly introduce herself. Micheline, you should unmute your microphone, sorry.
Too much screens to click on. Now you can hear me, Tim?
Yeah, it's good.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm indeed Micheline, working at the coordination office of the program at Ghent University. So you will be regularly in contact with me by email or phone once you start applying, and then hopefully start in our nice program. Maybe some short background. I actually graduated at Ghent University as a marine biologist many years ago, and I rather fast after my studies ended up in a project management roles in different enterprises, and I joined the coordination team a few years ago to work on this master program. Welcome, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Micheline. A few practical notifications, maybe, not unimportant. So we have prepared a short presentation for you where we want to go into a number of details related to the master program, but also related to the actual application process. And then afterwards we will also take questions. So you have the opportunity to post your questions in the chat box. And then after the presentation we will try to provide clear answers to this. This webinar is also recorded, so the recording of this webinar will appear shortly after the end of the webinar, so you can watch it again, and also the presentation that we share here we can then also share potentially on our website as well, so you can have access to what we have explained here. So let me first start with the presentation. So I will just swap my screen, so now you should see the presentation. So on this first slide there's two important elements. Maybe there's the title of it, but also a very important element is the fact that we are a Erasmus Mundus program. So we have applied for Erasmus Mundus funding last year again, and we were very happy actually this summer to get the news that Erasmus Mundus thinks that this program deserves again funding, meaning that we will have again scholarships available from next cohort onwards. So it means that for your cohort you can apply for one of those Erasmus Mundus grants, and so that's also what we highly recommend you, of course. It's quite a serious selection process, so you have to be good on a number of those selection criteria in order, of course, to be eligible for these scholarships. But in a minute I'll get back to that. Good. So what do we want to tell you today? What is IMBRSea? Okay, we will briefly elaborate on the study program of IMBRSea. We want to explain a few details on mobility, focus a bit on the joint elements of the program, and then explain on the application and selection process. Good. What is IMBRSea? I think very important is to understand that we are a joint international master program. Joint meaning this master program is organized by a big group of universities. It's one of the largest consortia of universities that are in Europe organizing one integrated master degree program. It's also joint, and you see that on the fourth point here on this slide, simply because we have in our master program a lot of joint elements. So meaning independently from which trajectory you follow, which independently of your mobility, for example, a lot of elements in our program are actually the same or at least they have the same evaluation criteria, for example, and the same settings for any student in this master program. We are supported by Erasmus Mundus, as I mentioned already, and then also we have a number of thematic specializations which allow you as a student to actually specialize in a certain field. So the field that has where you're most interested in, but also the field that potentially may lead for you to specific areas of work. Mobility is an obligatory element, so you will be obliged to be mobile during your studies, and even, let's say, this year when we face this pandemic, for example, this global pandemic, mobility is still going on as far as possible. And then finally, I also want to say that this master program is unique because it's connected to a huge European research infrastructure, so IMBRSea. So the European Marine Biological Resource Center, which is a virtual, well, not a virtual, which is a network of marine stations all over Europe that join forces on a whole series of different levels, work together, and IMBRSea is the flagship master program of this research infrastructure. Here you see the overview of the main universities that are involved in the organization of this master program. So Ghent University is the coordinating university. Then we have the University of the Algarve in Portugal. We have two Spanish universities, which are the University of Oviedo, but also the University of the Basque Country. Then in France we have three different partners, which is Sorbonne University, University of Western Brittany, and finally also the University of the Côte d'Azur. Then if we can go to Italy, just to stay first in the south. There we have the Polytechnic University of Marche, which is located in Ancona, which is a member of our consortium. And then more north we have in Ireland the Galway Mayo Institute of Technology. And then in Scandinavia we have two universities. It's the University of Bergen and also the University of Gothenburg in Sweden. So a big consortium, as you can see, which also offers you lots of opportunities to be mobile in our program, but also a big consortium simply because we also have different specializations and we tried to find the best partners in order to offer you the best education in those specialization fields. On the map you see a whole series of dots, but I'm not presenting here the list, but what I want to illustrate with this map is simply because simply the fact that our master program has these 11 main partner universities, but besides that we have a whole international global network of associate partners. Associate partners are institutes, research institutes, universities, but also companies, NGOs, different organizations where students go for their professional practice or thesis research. So they play a very important role because professional practice and thesis are essential components in our program. Good. Who is who in this master program? I just illustrate briefly this slide because we are a big consortium, but means also, for example, that every university sometimes has its particularities which you may be interested in, and so what you see on this slide, that information is of course also available on our website, is an overview of the contact people for each partner university. So these are the people you can contact also directly if you have specific inquiries, for example, of a certain specialization module at one of the partner universities. These are also the people that are in our board, the governing board of our program, which actually decides on all the joint aspects of the overall functioning of our master program. Good. The study program of IMBRSea 2.0. So what do we illustrate here? We have the master program is a master program of 120 ECTS. So ECTS, for those that are not European students, ECTS actually is a standard value that is on a European education, that is a standard weighing that is given to specific courses, and it kind of one ECTS corresponds to something like 25-30 hours of work a student should do. So if you have a course of 3 ECTS, then it means that the work time that you will have to allocate to such a course will be around 90 hours in total. Yeah. So every academic year is built up of in total 60 ECTS, yeah, and those so 2 academic years of 60 ECTS bring together a total package of 120 ECTS. Yeah. So 1 semester corresponds to 30 ECTS, yeah, and so the first semester, for example, is what we call the fundamentals module that is offered there, and that means that it's actually a set of courses that we have selected many years ago, a set of courses which we believe that every marine scientist, every marine biological resource scientist at least, should have in order to be able to go in further specializations. So this first semester includes the courses Marine Ecology, Oceanography, Marine Policy and Governance, Quantitative Methods, Marine Genomics, and also a course on GIS. Yeah? And beside that, students have also the opportunity to take 1 elective course. This the same package of courses, yeah, is organized at different universities. So you can go to Ghent, Oviedo, Brest, Algarve, GMIT and Ancona, but you can also take this first semester in a fully online setting, because we have developed for this academic year a full set of online courses. We're going to improve, based on the feedback we received from students, these courses in the next coming months, and the aim is also to still offer this online semester for the next academic year. So independently from where you go for this fundamentals module, yeah, the content of these courses will be exactly the same, the learning outcomes are the same, but every university will, of course, will kind of give a local flavor to each of these courses with, for example, examples of fieldwork, for example, that are related to how things are organized locally. Yeah. So the first semester runs until around Christmas. Then exams are depending of where you go, because the starting times are slightly different per university again. Yeah. Then exams are organized mostly in January in most of the cases, and then end of January, early February, for example, in a majority of universities, our second semester will start. And there we start with 1 thematic module. So there you start actually specializing, and you choose a pathway that is best fit to your needs or your interests. And so it starts with 18 credits of courses, yeah, that you follow at a specific mobility partner. And then the first academic year is closed or is finalized with a so-called professional practice, which is an internship, but in a few minutes I'll give some more direction on that, of 12 ECTS. 12 ECTS means again that this is, if you recalculate again in the number of hours that you're supposed to work on that, it means this is a big component of your total study program. And we close the first academic year really with an annual symposium where we bring together students from the first and the second year of the master program. Good. So this is just a listing of these thematic modules that I just mentioned in semester 2. And so what you can see here, that there is quite a variation of different topics you can actually go into, and they're offered again by different mobility partners. So, and these mobilities and these specializations are actually also related to the research specializations of each university that is offering them. Yeah. Now, the second year of the master program starts in the summer. Yeah, starts in the summer with a summer school of 6 ECTS. In the past, we have always organized it, at least in the past 4 or 5 years, in the marine station in Tjärnö in Sweden. So during the summer, there will be a number of occasions where you can attend this kind of summer school. Yeah. And then early September you start with your the rest of the course program, which is built up out of an online course which is on data management, communication and project management, and again a second specialization module of 18 ECTS. A bit the same principle as how it's done in the first academic year. And then the last semester of the 2 years program is a personal thesis research project that you carry out and which you present again during the annual symposium in the format of a conference talk that you give there, where the first year, second year student, but also a lot of teachers from the different universities are actually present. Maybe interesting on this annual symposium, if you already want to see how a number of things are organized, for example, what quality levels you may expect. All of the talks from the students from the previous years can also be viewed on our YouTube channel. So if you have interest to actually see and meet some of the students virtually at least, then I strongly advise you to look at a number of these presentations. Yeah. Good. This is just an overview of the different thematic modules. You can also find this information in much more detail on our website as well. So in total, yeah, you see that we have in total we have 5 big specialization groups, we call it. Yeah, and then within each group, actually, you can then follow one module, one of the modules. So it's not that you have, if you take ocean literacy and education, for example, that you have to go to Sweden, Spain, and Sorbonne and Ghent combined. No, you just select one of these, but then your final diploma will indicate that you have kind of done something, for example, in the field or the domain of blue biotechnology and bioeconomy, if you select one of the modules from there. Yeah, good. Mobility and IMBRSea. We offer a lot of opportunities. If you see let's say the first semester includes a lot of opportunities. Second semester, again, for your professional practice, you can be again mobile. The third semester, you already have again a huge list of mobility options, and then finally also for your thesis, you can again be mobile. So IMBRSea offers you the opportunity to almost be every half year to be at a certain different location. Now, one important element in order to be able to organize ourselves, because on a yearly basis we attract around 100 students, yeah, we have to organize ourselves, and also the different partner universities have to organize themselves in a proper way. So at the time of application, so when you're applying, yeah, you will already indicate, yeah, which mobilities you wish to take. The mobilities, only those, of course, related to the actually formal teaching. So it means the mobility for the first semester, the mobility for your second semester thematic module, as well as the mobility for your third semester thematic module. So we do not have to know right now, okay, which thesis you want to do or which professional practice. So no worries on that. And what we ask you to do is to indicate per semester your top 2 priority. Yeah, and based on your input there, yeah, we will try to accommodate you with the best possible options. Yeah. There is also an Erasmus Mundus mobility rule, which is quite important, and this, because we're an Erasmus Mundus program, we also have to obey to this rule. And the rule says that you have to be studying in at least 2 different countries, 2 mobility periods which are different from your country of original country of residence. So that means, for if you're a Belgian student, yeah, or a Portuguese student, doesn't matter. If you're a Belgian student and you wish to take your first semester in Ghent, for example, then this is perfectly okay. But it means also that this will restrict you in the further mobility periods that you can select. It means also that your second semester and third semester modules will have to be taken at other universities. So that's something to keep in the backs of your head, that we really encourage you to take mobilities outside of your former studies, because we are an international program, so we are stimulating people to also be really international. Good. The IMBRSea joint element already pointed out that our first semester has a very joint setup. But then besides that, yeah, the professional practice, for example, is something that is organized in a joint way. So there's the same framework, evaluation framework, follow-up framework for every student. The joint schools that are organized over summer have a very common setting. Then the thesis preparation course, which is an online course that all the students are following independently from where they take their third semester. And then finally, of course, your thesis work is again evaluated in a joint way. So the professional practice, what is it? It's actually 240 hours of practical training, and the aim there is that students become familiar with what it is to work as a marine professional in specific domains. Yeah? So the professional practice is not about carrying out research, for example, and whether you do good quality research. No, it's rather okay if you do research, for example, during a professional practice. It's just experiencing what it is to work as a researcher in a research institute. So your quality of your research will not count here, but rather how you actually evaluate and how you increase your personal skills in a number of things. So this is evaluated via an online reflective portfolio, via a report as well, and you will also show during the annual symposium actually what you have learned to your peers here during a so-called scientific exhibition. On all of these joint elements, we also have dedicated pages on our website. So if you go, for example, to the dedicated page on the professional practice, then you will find the most up-to-date information, as well as the whole guiding frameworks that we have for those. We have guidelines, we have practical documents that explain in very much detail how these things are organized. So I advise you to consult the website for these kind of things. There might be slight adaptations to a number of practical organizational things for your cohort, because the information you find now is mainly for the current students. So next year there might be some slight adaptation, but that's mainly related to dates or things that we improve based on the feedback mechanisms that we have involved in our program. So the joint school is a second element, and it's kind of a 10 days event where students in teams will do all the elements that are actually related to carrying out a full research project. It's from the proposal to the research to the analysis of data to reporting to finally also communicating your research to a broader community. Besides that, we give quite some essential training on so-called transferable skills, science communication, for example, movie and photo skills, group dynamics. So a number of these skills, and these are skills, and the evaluation, let's say, of the outcomes are done exactly the same way as they are done for your final master thesis. This allows you also to get acquainted to how a thesis, for example, will be evaluated, what kind of feedback that you might receive on your manuscripts. The thesis preparation course, organized in the third semester, is a 6 ECTS course and offers a whole set of kind of different skills related to the master thesis that you will do. So there will be something on research design, also data management, for example, and also scientific communication. A whole set of small modules, assignments, project management, for example, is also part of that. And it's hosted on our oceantraining.eu learning management system that we have for our full program. Yeah. Maybe not unimportant is that this learning management system is something that is quite new, that has been set up in spring of this year, and it also includes some preparatory material for new students. So in case you will be accepted to the program, you will also get access to this platform, and you will be able, for example, to go to some preparatory materials like an R prep course we have there, the R language, programming language, but you also have a self-test course in there where you can make sure that for each of the courses in the first semester you have the skills you actually need in order to start the program. Then thesis work is organized in the last semester, the fourth semester, 30 ECTS, and you can do it at any IMBRSea partner. So the report is written in the format of a regular scientific publication, and you present your thesis again during the annual symposium. Same as for the professional practice, we have a dedicated page on our website where you can find documents that explain how this all works. The annual symposium, so you will attend, hopefully you will attend by the time you start studying. We hope that this whole pandemic has calmed down a little bit, and that you will be again able to attend these kind of quite intensive but very nice events. So annual symposium, so what happens there, it's a 1 week event, and we bring together the first year and the second year students, and we offer a part of this event are workshops, thematic workshops, organized by a whole range of different stakeholders, and also 2 days of actually a symposium where there is presentations of the thesis work combined with presentations of professional practice experiences. And it's the event actually to link with alumni, to link with current students of the second year, but also with teachers, employers, etc., etc. So it's a very important networking event in our program. Good. Let's, after this intro to how a program looks like, let's move to the actual application process. In IMBRSea we have initiated 3 application rounds, and the reason that we have done this, in the majority of other Erasmus Mundus programs there's only 1 application round. It means also if you submit your application, for example in the other programs by January, you had to wait until very late in order to know whether you were accepted or not to the program. So here, last year actually we have decided to change this procedure and to install 3 different rounds of application. So meaning if you are able to finish your application by the 31st of January 2021, then you will actually be part of the first evaluation group, the first round, and your application will be evaluated and you will know whether you're accepted to a program already mid-February. If you're not ready by the end of January, don't worry, because you can still apply until the 31st of March. So you have 2 more months to complete your application. Then again, you will know your results by 15th of April, so 2 weeks later. So we want to install here with this mechanism actually a very short response time, also to guide you and help you, for example, in having certainty whether or not you're accepted to the program. And then finally we also have a 3rd round, but the 3rd round is only eligible for people that are EU applicants. The reason for that is very simple. We have by the 15th of April we have to report all the candidates of our program that are non-EU to the European Commission, so to the executive agency that follows up this Erasmus Mundus program. And secondly, also people that are coming from outside the EU have to start preparations for visa, for example, and if we wait until end of May, then it's far too late in order to make sure that you can get the appropriate documents in time. So what information is needed in your application? So I think apart from all the documentation and the fields you can fill in the application form, there's the first university degree and relevant other degrees that you can upload. Also documentation on language proficiency, because we need to know that you are speaking and understanding and that you have a good control of the English language, because our full program is taught in English, so English is the overall language in the program. You of course have also opportunities to follow local language courses, so that's still a possibility, but the language of teaching is English. You need motivations to be filled in. You need a copy of a valid passport, a copy of a CV, and further also relevant documentation linked to referees. So the diploma, if you do not have your diploma yet, you can upload a statement from your current university indicating actually your current status. So that's a question we often receive. I'm only graduating in August. Can I already apply, for example? The answer is yes, but you will have to ask your current university to indeed also upload a status statement where it says that you are a student and that normally graduation is planned indeed before the start of your studies in our IMBRSea program. Language tests is something we will need. If you did not obtain them by the end date of your application, again, this is not a major issue, but then you should upload a document that shows when you will actually take the test. And note that this test will be actually required, so we will actually need these testings before we can finally then accept you to the program. Note that we only accept certificates of test that are also mentioned on our website. So check the website again and check whether the tests you have, the test certificates you have, are indeed valid ones. And then finally, and that's maybe sometimes a tricky one, we also need contact details of 2 or 3 referees. And so how this works is, so you complete the contact details and then the referee is invited via a separate mechanism to actually complete a referee form where he can indicate a number of elements about you as a student, you as a person, and whether you would fit in our program or not. As soon as we receive their referee forms, we will also upload them to the application file, and you will also see on your application whether or not your referee forms have arrived. Note that you cannot open or read your referee forms, so it's a confidential mechanism. So that's maybe important that you find referees that indeed know you and that can also comment on you in a proper way, and that they provide valid information. The CVs must also be uploaded, and they must be uploaded in the Europass format. Europass is a standardized European format that has been developed at European level in order to be able to compare CVs in a proper way and in a uniform way. So please upload your CVs. We have every year people that just fail the application because they do not upload the CV in the correct format. So please do this in the correct format. It's also one of the recommendations actually from the Erasmus Mundus program as a whole to do this. And then for the motivational statement, you will see that you have a lot of questions that you have to answer. Please answer the questions, read the question and answer to the question. We do not have to know enormous feedback and information about what your country is and what your whether your country needs marine scientists, etc., etc. No, read the questions, and try to give a proper answer to these questions. So how to apply? So again, on our website we have the How Apply page. So and there you will find again this information. Note that we have for each module a limited number of places available, so check these also on your website, and this will of course influence, your ranking will be taken into account, and also your round will be taken into account where you apply in order to allocate you to certain mobilities. So that's why the ranking and the selection process is really important. The better you rank there, the higher the possibility that you get also your preferred mobility. Indicate in the application form for which specialization modules you apply, and after the call, after the call is closed, for example, and the first selection is done, we will also indicate to future applicants how many places there are still left in each of the modules. So we have a selection board that is actually doing the selections, and it's a board that may be important to know. We as coordination team, so nor Micheline nor Rodrigo, who is not present in this meeting right now, but also me, for example, we're not involved in the actual direct selection. So we have a selection board that is made up of participants from the different partner universities. They will review each candidate. Each candidate is reviewed by at least 2 different evaluators. And then based on the different selection criteria, for example, we do a final ranking during a meeting. So you will be informed already about the selection outcomes within 2 weeks after the closing of each application round. Very important there is, for example, if you apply in the first round, we will not say whether you have an Erasmus Mundus scholarship or not, but we will indicate to you, look, academically you are accepted to the program, and we can also indicate to you whether your chances are realistic or less realistic to potentially get a scholarship or not to start the program. The actual notification of Erasmus Mundus scholarships is only for the 15th of April, because we have to present to the European Commission a full selection, a full selection and ranking of all the candidates that have applied for the program. So if you're accepted to the program, you will receive a letter of acceptance, of course, from the consortium, but also a letter of invitation by the universities you will go to. And if you are awarded also a scholarship, you will of course also receive an additional scholarship award letter, as we call it, by the consortium. Good. maybe not unimportant to keep in the backs of your head if you apply to this program, and the same is true for other Erasmus Mundus programs that you would apply to. Yeah, you will need valid and correct copies of the degrees and transcripts that you have obtained in the past. So, and it's not just a print that you can get from anywhere. No, they also need, if you do not come, depending on the country you come from, but again, we have this information on our website, they might have to be legalized or certified as true copies. So keep in mind that this is a process you have to go through. This is not because we just want to make your lives difficult, totally not, but it's related to the legal concerns, because in the end we wish also to provide you, if you graduate, with a legal document, again, so-called joint diploma, where you can do a number of things with that are correct. So selection process for the self-sponsored students. Yeah. So if you indicate, for example, if you were not selected for an Erasmus Mundus scholarship, if in case you're selected for an Erasmus Mundus scholarship, then it means your scholarship covers your tuition costs and let's say your mobility and your monthly stipend also that you will receive. We have around 10-15 scholarships for this first round. So it's not that we can give, although we would like to do so, every student that applies a scholarship. Yeah, we feel very sorry that we're not able to do so, but you still can continue as a self-sponsored student in our program. So in case you decide to do this, yeah, then the first part of the tuition fee, €1,000, yeah, will have to be paid 2 weeks after the closure of the second call. So that means that the payment deadline for this first part will be the 1st of May, in case you say, okay, you continue to say that you want to be part of this program also on a self-funded basis. This payment is also the part of the payment that is non-refundable. So that's kind of important to keep in the backs of your head, in case, due to reasons of power, for example, in September you cannot start the program, then we will pay you back a part of the tuition fee or the participation cost, but the €1,000, for example, that you paid at the start, yeah, cannot be paid back, simply because it's already used to register you by the start of the academic year at the universities where you're enrolled in. Yeah. So when the second part of your tuition fee or participation cost will be paid in the summer of 2021. Yeah. After your payment of the first part, you will already get access to the online prep courses, for example, and you will also get already your IMBRSea contact details. So every student receives also an email address and access to a number of shared spaces where they can meet and connect with teachers, but also with peers in the whole process. Good. Before we close here, communication, how to communicate with us. As I already mentioned, we have local coordinators per university. And if you go to the website, for example, and you click on the partner information, then you will see for each partner information how you have to contact the local coordinator. If you want to coordinate to contact us in Ghent at the coordination office, it's very easy to do. It's you just use the info@imbrsea.eu email address, and then we try with our team to answer your requests in a decent time. Do not expect always an immediate answer, simply because we often have to investigate as well what is a potential answer to your question. So, but we have normally the policy that every question receives also an answer in a certain time. If you do not receive answers within the time frame that you really need the answer, then we have also a phone number. Yeah, then call us in order to find out whether we can provide you with a direct answer. Then the official channel of communication is the IMBRSea.eu webpage. Yeah, so there we post the official information. We of course have also a Facebook and an Instagram page, but we will never use that one for formal notifications that we have to make to you. We use it for communication purpose. So we invite you also to kind of like and follow these pages, because it will you will immediately know a bit more about the program. Then finally, we also have a very active YouTube channel where We post videos made by students, but also videos about from webinars, for example. So you have the possibility to look also back and to see us, for example, also presenting the webinars of previous years. Yeah, but be aware if you find their webinars, for example, from last year, yeah, that these webinars give information about how the things were organized in our program from last year. So the one now is the one which is, of course, containing the valid information for you. Good. Actually, I want to close this presentation and then have a look maybe at the chat and see whether there are any questions that are coming in right now. Maybe good for you to know is that we're around 46 people right now at the same time watching this webinar, which shows that I think the information that we're providing here has quite some interest potentially. So if you have questions, feel free to post your questions. So there are already quite a lot of questions. I had to open the chat. So the first question of Sakib in the website, it's instruct to give 2 reference letters, but in the application portal I found 3 reference letter sections. Should I submit 2 or 3 reference letter contacts? Yes, a good question indeed. So at least we need 2 referee reports. Yeah. So you do not upload reference letters yourself. No. The only thing you do is you will indicate the contact details of the referees. And I want to state it quite. I would like to state again that these contact details should be the official contact details of people. So not Yahoo addresses or Hotmail addresses, but preferably institutional email addresses that you provide there. We give you the opportunity to submit 3 contact details, and that's simply because we are also aware that some referees may never respond to this invitation. So that gives you the opportunity to upload 3. In the best case, you get then 3 referee statements. The better for you, I would say. But the chances are higher to have 2. So if you have 2 and you're sure they will respond, then 2 is enough. Next question is from Anand for Erasmus Mundus scholarship. Will applying in the application form is enough, or are we also required to apply also on the official website of Erasmus? No, the answer is very simple. Only one application form for the whole joint program, and during that application form, if you open your application, for example, you will also find a section on scholarships where you indicate whether or not you wish to apply for an Erasmus Mundus scholarship. Yeah. Please save the live video. Yeah, don't worry. The video is recorded. This webinar is recorded and will also become available. Can I apply for Erasmus Mundus scholarship even if I have another master degree? A question from Cynthia. Yes, you can do this. So our minimum entry requirements is that you have a bachelor. If you look at the admission criteria, for example, then you can indicate there. So you will have to also in the application form to indicate your bachelor, where you graduated from example. But if you have additional degrees, like a master degree, you can also give us that information in the application form. Yeah. A question from Sarah. Do you accept a certain amount of students per round? Are there less places available when applying later? Yeah, a good question. We do not have specific numbers set for each round. Yeah. So if we have in the first round 300 applications and we find that 100 of them are academically acceptable to our program, then those 100 will be accepted to the programs. And we know also that that in the end, for example, there is only a certain proportion, depending also on the indications you make, whether you want to enroll further as a self-funded student or not. But we designed our program, and maybe that's not important to see, for example. We're a huge consortium of universities with lots of study places also. So we are actually able to accommodate a program for in total like between 120 and 150 students without any problem. So right now we never had the point that we went over that limit, so let's see how things go, and then we will see how we have to accommodate, but it's better not to make certain scenarios before they actually also take place. When is the deadline for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship? Yeah, there's two deadlines that you can choose, or the first deadline is the 31st of January to apply, or the 31st of March. So the earlier you apply, the more sure you are on your potential mobility. You will already know whether you're academically accepted or not as 2 weeks after the deadline of your application. Yeah, but the scholarships are only decided by the 15th of April. Hello again. Is the C1 language certificate from the current university enough to provide? And then the teaching language in my degree is English. Check our website, check on the admission criteria. There's a list available there which indicates very clearly what kind of certificates that are accepted and which ones not. And it's quite well explained and should normally be clear whether you're in your case. So I don't want to answer here, because actually we should see the details of the documents in your particular case, but based on the website, for example, this should be clear. Do the referees have to be academics, or can they be colleagues from work, experiences, volunteer work, etc., etc.? A question from Julie Fichefet. Referees can be of any kind. Yeah, they can be academics, they can come from, if you are already having work experience or you worked for several NGOs, there's no problem at all. You can also invite these people, but keep in mind that we ask them, okay, what is your general knowledge, for example? What is your internationalization? Do they see you as what kind of person you are, to give proper feedback? So they should be able to provide you with honest information on how you are as a student in our program. So not unimportant to keep this in mind. Yeah. Next question is, will a certificate from my university indicating that my degree was completed with English? I think that's a question we already answered. Check on our website, unless Micheline wants to comment on that in more detail right now, but if you had education in English already before, then this is a possibility to not have to fulfill also a test, but you will have to foresee or provide us with sufficient proof of that. Yeah. Good. Next question is, so we provide the contact of the referees, let's say supervisor, and then you send them a form. Yeah. What I can maybe do is I just will quickly switch to the application layout. I hope this. So I will just briefly switch, and then I will share my screen again. I will show you the application form. It might be easier to answer those questions. So manage forms, application, and then I open it in the application form layout. So I will again briefly share my screen so you can see. Yeah. So this is how the application form should look like. So here we give some general comments in the first page. Second page you will be able to fill in some information, also address information, etc., etc. Other information is your curriculum vitae that you can upload, and also some information on special needs. Maybe important or maybe quite interesting to say something on that. So it's also mentioned here, so read this very well. Yeah. So in case you would potentially have special study needs that we have to be informed about, then you can already post this here. Note that this information is not sent to the evaluators who actually look at your selection details. So you will not be kind of negatively advised simply because you indicate, for example, that you have dyslexia or another one of the official classified disabilities. Yeah. Next page is study data. So you can upload your bachelor degree, but also, as I mentioned, your master degree and even other diplomas. So if you have several master degrees or other diplomas you have obtained, you can also provide that here. Language skills, and here you see that's what I mean. So the information is clearly available also on our public website, and you can upload this information, but you can also upload other language information. And then about the referees, that's how it goes. It's of course dummy information here. So what you enter is for each referee that you enter last name, first name, email, and the full address. That's it. Yeah. And then based on this information, automatically an invitation will go to the email address that you provide here. Yeah? Here again, we advise you not to give Yahoo or Hotmails, because if they work at a certain institution, they should also have an official institutional email address. So be careful that we can also retrieve the details of this person, because he or she will have to indicate how he knows you, for example, and from where he knows you and which experiences they had together. You can indeed indicate 3 referees, but we only need 2 referees in order to continue. Then we have a whole set of motivational questions. So you click on the pencil, you can actually write as much as you like in these fields. Yeah, but an advice is keep it concise and answer the questions. So no kind of long motivational letters, but really, okay, what are your expectations, for example? What do you want to learn? So etc. What do you want to do in the future? Because that allows us also to see whether your application is a coherent application overall. Then the mobility choices. And here at the bottom of the mobility choices, you can see already, okay, if you wish to apply for an Erasmus Mundus scholarship, you can indicate it in this section. Yeah? And then the final page is just a statement that you agree that to a number of things, for example, that we, and legal things as well, that we can use your information, for example, to evaluate your file as well. Yeah? Voila. Just go back to the questions, maybe that's easier. Okay, how much is the second part of the tuition fee? I think that's the question. Yeah, on the website it says that, and I think you can. So our tuition fee, normally a participation cost for Europeans is 4,500 per year, per academic year, and for non-European it's 9,000 per academic year. However, yeah, we do have tuition fee waivers. So if you are a self-financed student, yeah, we will, up to the maximum capacity of the program, also taking that into account, for example, yeah, award partial tuition fee waiver. So, and I can say here that in the majority of the cases, yeah, you will get this tuition fee waiver if you continue as a self-funded student. So it means that for an EU student then, the participation cost will be 3,500 per academic year, and for a non-EU student it's 4,500 euro per academic year. Good. Do the academic reference have to be a doctorate degree? Answer is no. They can be of any kind. It's really up to you to select referees that can give you an honest evaluation. An honest evaluation meaning that they provide you with honest information that is also correct. So we check then also with your other information whether what they say is indeed reliable information. How many students will be awarded the scholarships in this first year around, for example? We expect to have between 15 and 20 scholarships in total awarded. Yeah, that depends a bit also on the quality of students we actually get in and the selection. So it's the selection board who has the final saying in that. So if we get overall a very low quality of students, for example, it might be that they decide to award fewer scholarships this year, so we have a few more for next academic year. So it is necessary to that our CV shoot in Europass and any length specifies. Yeah, very easy answer to this question. Yes, it has to be a Europass CV. Look up on the internet how this looks like. If you just Google Europass CV, we also provide the link actually to the official Europass website. Then you will see how this works. Yeah. Next question is, do you have special housing for IMBRSea students, or do we have to look for flats for the time we will stay in a city by ourselves? A question from Kirsten. So in case you're accepted to the program, we will provide you with a whole series of practical information. And so every partner university has, for example, information on how to find hosting, for example, how to find housing, and different partner universities have, again, also different ways on how this is done. So in case, for example, you're accepted to Ghent University, we will also inform you how you can apply for accommodation at one of the official Ghent University housing facilities. And the same is true for the other universities. And so far, actually, we never have seen major problems of students not finding accommodation. So every university will help you, support you once the time is there to find proper accommodation. Yeah. Question from Milan. If for some reason one applied and got accepted into IMBRSea but would not pass all the exams of the third bachelor, would be prohibited to start the IMBRSea courses. Yeah, Milan. The website says very clearly that you have to have a degree, a bachelor degree, before the start of the studies. Yeah. So in those particular cases where you're now in, it's very hard to make a general statement, but we can in very specific cases, but I'm saying in a very specific cases, make small exceptions, and that's, we sometimes did this in the past for certain students, for example, where there was an agreement that it's a minor part of their studies, but I'm saying this is exceptional and has to be approved by the full board, and then this is also written down in the student agreement that we actually make that. But my advice is make sure you finish and you pass all your exams, and that you have your degree in order to be able to continue your studies in a proper way. I see among the requirements that a degree in biology, ecology, etc. is needed to enroll. I think you have to read further, Valeria. The requirements say a degree in biology, ecology, etc., or equivalent. And so then the or equivalent means that our selection committee will then see whether your degree is indeed accepted or not. So your gastronomic sciences degree, is it eligible very specifically? I think it's on the edge, to be honest. It's sciences, so it really depends, on which courses you have had, for example, and if you want, you could send us an inquiry by email before, but it's only just be careful with what I say here, because if we don't want any student just to send an email, will my diploma be eligible or not? But if you really have doubts, we can have a look and we can give you an advice whether or not you would potentially be accepted or not. But I think it's a bit on the edge of what, but depends on which courses you have obtained. But if I pay the first 1,000 euros in February and then I will win the scholarship, you will not pay the first 1,000 euros in February, Gail Benetti, because the deadline for payment is only after the selection of the scholarships. So you will know whether you have a scholarship or not, and then actually you will have to pay or not in order to continue the studies. Next one, it's accepted a degree in biotechnology. Biotechnology is, if you look in the degrees that we accept, should be perfectly possible. And again, depending, we have a selection committee that looks whether you have sufficient background education in order to be able to follow our studies. It's a science master program, so be prepared that you're ready to really follow the courses. On the selection of each mobility, you are required to motivate your selection. Are you required to give a motivation for both choices or the first? Rose, you can indeed indicate for the mobility, and I can just have a quick look again, mobility and scholarships, and that section. You can motivate your semester 1 choice here or semester 2 choice. What we expect you to do is to write a short motivational statement on, why did you select both of these? It could be that you say, for me it doesn't matter, I actually I'm willing to go to either of them, for example, or yeah, this is really my first choice because of this and this reason, and my second choice is also potentially a good reason, a good choice because it also matches with my expectations I have, specific expectations that I have from the study program. So yeah, it's fully up to you. We don't have guidelines on that, so how good you motivate certain mobilities. Is the tuition fee waiver something we have to request in the application, or is it something that is tried to be granted to as many students as possible? Yeah, Julie, indeed, that's what we try to do. We try to optimize actually the number of students in a program, because we're also aware that we cannot run this program with only 15 students. Yeah, we're not an Erasmus Mundus program that, if you look at our consortium with 11 partners, and in case we would have 15 to 20 students, then we would simply not be able to organize this program. So we indeed use these waivers in order to offer several more students also opportunities to be able to get in the program. Then we have another question. Please, I need more explanation on the legalization of my documents. Don't completely understand how to go about it. Yeah, first of all, I think if you go to the website, and Micheline, maybe you can comment on that, there will also be links. There is a link available to the website of Ghent University. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So it's indeed quite a lot of information, which tends to be complicated, but if you read carefully through what is there and click on the links, you will find out. Especially for degrees from outside the European Union, it's not always straightforward what is in fact required, but there are links on the website. If you scroll through the requirements, these links, they will lead you directly to the pages of Ghent University, or to documents linked to Ghent University, where it is explained which kind of procedures you have to follow for your legalization of your diploma.
Yeah. So please read these things carefully. Yeah, it's and normally it should be enough to actually information to proceed further with this step. Yeah. There's a question then, is it possible to add extra certificates, documents in the application, or should I attach them to the CV? We indeed include also the Europass CV format in order to be able to also show other kind of relevant experiences, or what kind of other things that you want to show to us. And the Europass, especially the new format that is now in place since a few months, has much more opportunities also to include, for example, volunteerships that you had done in the past, etc., etc. So the CV is the place indeed to check that. Note that the CV is something that is also checked by our selection committee, and that you have to make sure, of course, that what you state in the rest of the application matches indeed with your CV, because every year we have students where there is a mismatch between what they actually state in their application and what is stated in the CV, and this leads, of course, to downgrading of your full application. I'm wondering whether to choose this master or another one in a French university, for example. Could you assess the quality of the teachings? What are the specific assets of your formation? Leah Montey. I think that's a difficult one to express, let's say, how the teaching is in the French university you're potentially debating on. The only thing we can say maybe is that I don't know whether you're applying for another also international program, but what I know from students at least, and that's the feedbacks we hear every year, is that the fact that you're enrolled in a international master program, and where you could potentially even do a majority of studies, also a part of your studies also at French universities if you wish so. It's really an added value, first of all, for the job market, because that's one of the key things. If you have gone through an international framework, you're one step ahead when it comes to job applications. And secondly is, and maybe sometimes you will be also confronted with different teaching styles and different cultural habits of teaching, for example, at different universities. And so it's very hard to evaluate, okay, teaching at University A is better than at University B. I think the advantage of our master program is that although it's oriented to marine biological resources, yeah, you still have the possibility to diversify a lot within the program and to follow your interest within the program. And at the same time, by doing so, you have the possibility to connect with people that have potentially slightly different interests. So if you take a regular marine biology program at another university, all your colleagues, your classmates will be just interested in, for example, conservation and biodiversity in a marine biological context. Yeah? While in IMBRSea, you will have those people, but you will also have people that are potentially more interested in biotech, or other people that are interested in modeling, and or others that are interested in communication and outreach, which enriches your possibilities to do potential networking. Just as a small clarification on that difficult question, to be honest. Question from Stephanie. We do not to legalize our documents prior to application, or only after we will be notified of the result of the application. Stephanie, but Micheline, to be sure on this, yeah, it's after the application. After that, there is the deadline that we mentioned, but it's good to start early enough with these legalization processes. That's the main message. Yeah.
It's indeed not necessary before you apply, but by the end of June we would need the required documents. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Next one is a question, a very valid question from Alayar. It's expected that I'll get my diploma by the end of June next year, and I saw in the presentation that you have to submit the things already earlier. True. Yeah, and that's one we discussed actually just before we actually gave this presentation as well. Every year we have this. So in case you indicate that you have already your diploma, we would like you to present your documents soon enough, because yeah, that's also, we need these documents in order to properly enroll you also in the thing. So, but you can indicate in the application also that you will only obtain your diploma, for example, in 2021. And in that stage, you will upload kind of a certificate saying, okay, what is your status in the studies? And of course, we are aware that you will not be able to deliver those documents in due time. And then we allow exceptions to this. So no fear on that. Yeah. Maybe a strange question. Are there any particular number of scholarships for Asian students? So actually, no, there is no scholarship regulations on a kind of bigger areas. There is a rule from Erasmus Mundus that we can award maximum 2 scholarships to students from the same country. So if you are, I don't know from which country you are, for example, but take just one country, Bangladesh, for example. If we have 6 excellent students from Bangladesh, yeah, then we will only be able to award 2 scholarships to the students, out of these 6 students, to Bangladesh, and that's a maximum that we're allowed to. Yeah, of course, you're competing with the whole group of students that are applying to this master program. So we do a final ranking independently from where you come from, and then depending on the ranking, we start at the top and we say, okay, the top 1, for example, is from this country, yeah, and he gets a scholarship, and then we go down. As soon as we reach 2 students per country, then the 3rd one from that country, and that top list, for example, will be on the reserve list. Yeah, so that's how it works. These are rules from Erasmus Mundus, not rules that we invent ourselves. Okay, we are through the questions so far, so just checking whether there is more burning questions by anyone. So I don't see more questions coming in. That also means, I think, that we can then gradually close this presentation here. So we would like to thank you very much for being present, attending this online event. And in IMBRSea we're quite used to this kind of online streamed events, and that's also what you can witness on our website, I think, on the YouTube channel. So there will be more of those in later stages, for example, after you have been accepted to the program. We also mostly organized and dedicated information as well. I wish you all the best for completing your applications. Yeah. Also, if you know of friends, colleagues that potentially have interest in this master program, share this webinar with them as well, and inform them about the master program. And then I would like you also to wish you, I see more questions are coming in. One, during the first semester some courses are online, but do we have also opportunities to meet in real life? No, Leah, you can actually choose whether you take the full online semester or the regular semester. I think that's the bit of confusion that might exist. Yeah, but I was saying, okay, I wish you all the best in completing your applications. Yeah, in the next coming months. I hope also that you will be safe in the next coming months, because it's strange times here, and I hope to meet, and we hope to meet you in person. Yeah, at the soonest somewhere in September, and hopefully in September in normal conditions. So wish you all a good luck. Also, maybe already a Merry Christmas and a nice end of 2020, and we hope that 2021 will be a great year where we will have you as a student in our master program. Thank you very much.